are your guys from Seaside. That is Max and the Busendorfer just playing those keys. That is Bob on the saxophone. That's Jerry Rebot playing those skins. And that's Harley back there on that bass. And just love you guys. Every Sunday, they're here. And I know they don't go to bed early because you should hear the stories they tell that I'm not allowed to share with you. They're good. Hey, good morning, Seaside. Woo! What a joy it is to be with you today. It is an exciting day. It is a dynamic day. It's a day in which that Spirit is expressing. And we always start off with a wonderful lighting of the candle. So today the candlelight holder is Brian Atkins. And Brian is just a wonderful student in the School of Ministry. And he is taking this light and this flame back to our spiritual support center. And always during the service, there's somebody back there holding that light. And today it's Brian. And so if you want a prayer, that's where you go after the service to find a practitioner or the prayer chapel. But it's the last Sunday. And the last Sunday of the month is our prayer wall Sunday. So at the end of the service, all our practitioners will be standing here to be able to pray with you. But what I would like us all to do right now is stand and just say hello to that person that is next to you. They're not here, are they?
Good morning, Seaside. Please remain standing for the congregational song. All right, here we go. This is one we've done before. Cahill and Deline are the ones that introduced this song to us, and we hope you enjoy it. Sing it with us. Here we go. Come on. 1, 2, woo! Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, 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 yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Take it, Bob. Joyful sound, here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound, here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
right. I like that one. That feels joyful. So that is good. So let's see. We just experienced our coldest week of the year. Rebecca, how about you?
I did not.
You did not?
No.
No.
I was kind of in the Caribbean area.
Oh.
They don't have winters over there.
No, they don't. But they do have a bobsled team, I shared.
Well, bobsleds, they don't practice there, I don't think.
Oh, no?
Because
Really?
there's like no snow or anything.
Oh, man, I got to learn
I
my
don't
geography or something like that. That's great. Welcome back. We missed
Thank you very much.
Yeah, all right. So anyway, let's see. I have got a wonderful board announcement here. I just want to acknowledge these two. I want to call up Tasha and Edwin on our that are here. Today is our annual meeting, and we have two board members that are going off, and you'll be electing two new board members to come on. And our board president of, the last couple of years, who's been on the board for 4 years, we just wanted to say thank you for the wonderful guidance that you have given us, the direction you have given us. We have built out bathrooms. We have refurbished the place. You have assisted us through transitions, and just on behalf of a grateful community, we just want to say thank you with a lot of appreciation, gratitude for the wonderful guidance. Edwin, you've just been terrific in your leadership with the gavel, and thank you so much. Woo! Edwin Robinson! Thank you. Yeah. That's good. I mean, Edwin has really been the one who spearheaded our live streaming ministry and got the crews together and has made it happen successfully and just shares it with the world. So we love you, Edwin. Yeah, I'll tell you what, right now we could use some prayer. We could always use prayer. We believe prayer first in all things. And we started by setting the consciousness, by lighting the flame. And also now we're going to go a lot further into that place of connectedness with the infinite at a conscious level with the wonderful leader of our heart-to-heart ministry, which is our ministry of taking our hands and heart off our campus out into the streets, and that is with Kathy Bouquet. Kathy.
Please join me in the stillness. And on this magnificent morning, washed anew with the spring rains, clear as a bell, by this everlasting spirit that brings all wholeness and vitality, I proclaim I am one with God. God is one. And I know for each person, each soul here in this sacred space of Seaside, Center for Spiritual Living, that each one is one with God. And I know that each soul is blessed to hear Reverend Christian Sorensen with his words of hope and joy. And that with each word, each person is brought closer, more open, deeper to the source of their very being, of God, the source of all, that everlasting flow of abundance that has always been and will always be.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So wonderful to be here in front of you, and it's an honor. My name is Catherine Cespedes. I am a practitioner student here at Seaside Center for Spiritual Living. And for those of you who are brand new here at Seaside, or if you're watching and this is your first time, I want to say hello and welcome. We have created these envelopes just for you, and they are right in front of our front doors when you walk in. And what's in these envelopes is a CD of Back to the Basics. Basically, Reverend Christian is wrapping up the Back to the Basics this week with week 3. And when I first got to Seaside, I took one of these and I played that CD for 2 weeks, day after day, twice a day. And it changed my whole being. And here I am as a practitioner student. So I encourage you to take one of these. Yeah. I encourage you to take one of these, and I encourage you to share this. So once you're done listening to it, share it with someone that you know could listen to this. And as I'm going through prac, there is a lot of reading, and of all the reading, I truly, truly enjoy reading Joel Goldsmith and his book, Practicing the Presence. And I wanted to share this piece with you because it moved me so much. And so if you would just join me by closing your eyes. And with your eyes closed, just imagine. Imagine Spirit, God, the universe, as you would imagine God, Spirit, the universe, standing right in front of you. And these are the words that God, Spirit, universe is sharing with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. I will never leave you nor forsake you wherever you are or whatever you are. Hindu, Jew, Christian, Muslim, atheist. It is my nature to be the very heart and soul of your being. Neither your stupidities nor your sins can come between you and me. You may temporarily separate yourself from me. That is, you may think you have separated yourself from me, and you certainly can separate yourself from the benefit of my presence. But that does not mean that I have left you. You will find that at any moment, night or day, whether you make your bed in hell or in heaven, whether you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, or at any time you like, you may turn and you will find that I am walking beside you. I am the everlasting arms underneath you. I am the cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night. I am that which sets a table before you in the wilderness. If you are hungry, I am the ravens that come bringing you food. I am the widow sharing a little cake and cruse of oil. I will never leave you. I will be the manna to you in your desert experience. I will be that which opens the Red Sea for you if no other way opens. I am that which I am, forever and forever. I have been that unto eternity and will be that, for I am I in the midst of you. Whithersoever thou goest, I will go. And so if you will just take a deep breath and let it go. Gently coming back into this room, knowing that that Spirit, that God, that universe lives and dwells within you.
Good morning. That's a beautiful reading. Kat, getting us centered right. Good morning, Seaside. It is my honor to introduce our guest artists. I love when they're here. They're just a wonderful, beautiful couple. They've been married. This year will be 30 years. 30 years. And also wanted to share that they're going to be going on the trip with Carl Anthony to India coming up. It'll be their first time doing that, joining him, and so that's going to be exciting. I can't wait to hear about all that. It's going to be amazing. But without further ado, and Delene.
Okay, good. This one's on too. Always good to have a backup unit. Does he have that one muted? Okay, there we go. Yeah.
All right. So this is a song by Karen Drucker. And, as you know, we sing a lot of positive affirmation songs here at Seaside. So this is one that we need help with, all right? And this is called Happy, Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. That's what you're going to sing with us. And it repeats many times during the song. So we're going to absolutely be singing this all week long, right? All right, here we go. of love is shining in my eyes. I'm so happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Yeah. I am happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. And I know the light of love is shining in my eyes. I'm so happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. A little birdie told me that life is so sweet, and I listened to his song. I know I am complete. I have all the keys to love, joy, and peace. The power is infinite, and love will increase. I'm so happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. And I know the light of love is shining in my eyes. I'm so happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. A little birdie told me that life is so sweet. As I listen to his song, I know I am complete. I have all the keys to love, joy, and peace. The power is infinite, and love will increase. I'm so happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. And I know the light of love is shining in my eyes. I'm so happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Every day I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Can't you see I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise? I'm so happy, healthy, wealthy, yeah, oh, and wise. I'm so happy, I'm so wealthy, I'm so happy. Ooh, yeah. Oh yeah, do you feel it?
That is Cahill and Aline. My goodness. Happy, healthy, and wise. I like that. Reminded me of a plaque my dad used to have sitting in our breakfast room. And it said, I would rather be happy, healthy, than poor and sick. It was like, yeah, count me in. Happy, healthy, and wealthy. That was it. Happy, healthy, and wealthy, then poor and sick. Like, why do you need to give up one for the other? You can have it all. That's for sure. And so a good way to that is with this morning's message. As you may know, we have been going over the initial chapters or the intros into Ernest Holmes' book, The Science of Mind. And the last of the 4 initial chapters, which we're calling the basics of the science of mind, is called How to Use It. And this whole year is about healing. And so this morning's message in particular is the attitude of prayer. And so I'll share a little bit about how to pray, but really I think the key is the attitude to prayer that is going to make the difference to produce that happy, healthy, and wise experience in our life. Because, I mean, here's a little tip that we'll teach you differently in class in a sense, but it's like just a wish or a desire to pray, in a sense, is a prayer itself. You know, if you've got a desire within your heart and your soul that says, you know what, there could be more in my life right here, there's an opening that's going on. Now, the attitude is important, and so I begin to get my mind and my awareness in a field that I can begin to understand spirit. And prayer is a conscious, Ernest Holmes says this, prayer is a conscious approach to reality. It is the acquiescence of the mind. It is the embodiment of a greater idea. It is being receptive to Spirit. And so what we want to do is begin to open up to that greater expression of Spirit in our life and recognize that the prayer is a divine download that is available to anybody who's opening up their mind and their consciousness to be aware of the greater expression of Spirit. And then to be able to have the attitude that there is something greater that wants to show up in my life makes us more available to it. Because it is right for us to experience the good, because religious science is about demonstrating our good. The opening lines from this chapter on how to use it, they start off with one of the great difficulties in the new order of thought is that we are likely to indulge in too much theory and too little practice. You know, as a matter of fact, we can only know as much as we can demonstrate. Otherwise, what is so may or may not be the truth. It's only what we can demonstrate do we know as the truth. And so as we begin to shift our awareness and make ourselves available, we come to recognize that there's something inside that wants to take form in our life. And as we begin to recognize this attitude is something that's not even really spoken. One of the books we're using in the practitioner class right now is from H.B. Jeffries. He wrote this book called The Principles of Healing. And this book came out in 1903. It predated Ernest's era. Jeffries is from like 1870s. And one of the things he said is that it's not the words, it's the consciousness. See, that's the attitude I'm speaking about here. It is the consciousness. It's not so much the words that are spoken, but rather it is the words under the tongue that will touch your patient, even more so than the words that come from above the tongue. See, it's not the words. Ernest Holmes told us that it is not the symbol, it is the idea behind the symbol. Words, but it's the same thing. It's not the symbol, but it's the idea behind the symbol that creates an effective prayer. It's as we begin to embrace that and feel and sense it, that Spirit begins to show up in our life. And what's important is that we have this faith that, he was talking about, is an acquiescence of the mind and the embodiment of the divine idea, to have a faith. But he also says not just only a faith of God knowing and being able to do, but a confidence in our approach. You got that? It's not only a faith in that power and that presence, it's a confidence in your approach. And that's what one learns in classes, is to be able to approach it with an assurance that no matter what is going on, I can call forth a greater experience. I can remember one of the times I had a speaking gig at a conference outside of Atlanta on the Chattahoochee River. Kathy, you probably spoke at that Simpson grounds on the I've never even heard of the Chattahoochee River. But anyway, I flew into Atlanta to be picked up at the airport. I got outside with my bag, and I waited 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and nobody came to pick me up. And I was not pleased in that moment and began to experience less than ministerial thoughts. And it was before I carried a cell phone, which was not the wisest choice of things. But anyways, I had to go inside and find a payphone. Called the person, and I called them, I guess, at home. I said, "Where are you?" Kind of rhetorical, because I called them. I knew exactly where they were not. And they said, "Where are you?" I said, "Well, I'm at the Atlanta airport." They said, "No." I said, "Yeah, that's what the sign says." And they said, "But you're not supposed to get in until this afternoon." Well, my ticket didn't know that. The pilot didn't know that. And I breathed, and I said, and they said, "Okay, just relax. We'll be there in about an hour." So I go outside in summertime. It is, I won't say sweltering, but it's definitely humid there. Everything was perspiring, including the buildings. And I find my shade, and I'm sitting out there because I don't want to miss the person, and I'm feeling that extra energy. And I get to hear a voice inside that says, "You could be in heaven." I say, "Oh, are you kidding me? I'm in Atlanta in the summer." And I said, "Okay, close your eyes and go to heaven." But then I heard this voice again. It says, if you're in heaven, you don't have to close your eyes. It's like, if you're in heaven, you don't need to close your eyes because it's all around you. And so I just sat back, chilled out a bit. I started looking around. All of a sudden, I saw the excitement of like families meeting families that were just getting there. I began to see the excitement of people taking off and going on an adventure. I saw the porters bringing out bags and putting them in limousines, and the happiness and the joy and the excitement that was going on. People who were actually, getting a car and ready to drive off into heaven. They were ready to have a heavenly experience. I was even so much in heaven. One person came up and said, "Would you watch my bags for a few moments? I got to go and make a call." And I said, "No problem." And then I realized I'm the deliverer of heaven for this person who just came up. How exciting. The time was just going where next thing I knew, the person I was waiting for drove up. And so this game of playing, I'm in heaven now, and I can keep my eyes open. I don't have to close them and go off into this blissful state of somewhere else. I'm going to play the game of finding heaven because this is my conscious use of prayer. I'm having this attitude of the divine and recognizing heaven everywhere. I do it in hospitals with people who are sitting there and they're waiting for a report to come. And it's like ridiculous how long they make some people wait for reports. It's almost criminal. But they take that back. It's just, but I mean, you take a test, tell them what it said. But anyway, so, in this moment, you get to see, all these wonderful angels that are helping you out. I've sat with people in chemo wards and say, this is heaven here, and they begin to see the liquid gold that is moving into their body and the divine intelligence in the form of chemicals of the expression of God. I've worked with individuals who are trying to put proposals together and recognize that the coming together the pieces is heaven on earth, and relationships that seem just challenging. If you begin to bring the attitude of heaven with your eyes open to the very place, things begin to shift, and not because you are trying to mock up this particular expression, but because you are choosing to see heaven here. And sometimes when we find ourselves in that dire challenges and difficulties, it's important for us to see the blessings of them, because when we are seeing the blessings of the challenges, they become blessings in our life. It is amazing, that reciprocal kind of activity that goes on. But it's the attitude that you bring if you want to experience healing in your life, in any area, to be able to lift your view as Spirit sees in a new kind of way, in a God kind of way, and recognize the presence of God that is unfolding. And sometimes Spirit needs to shake you a little bit in order to have the shift go on, if you would. We've got a wonderful minister who's given us the idea of this telethon here. Her name is Reverend Michelle Wadley, and she has a workshop called No Mud, No Lotus. And I thought, now that's pretty good. So if we are willing to see the blessings that abound, that is the attitude that we can bring to our daily life, that attitude of prayer, of praying without ceasing, and recognizing that if there is a difficulty there, just possibly that's what it took to activate that, to be able to go through an experience is sometimes what is necessary to bring forth that love energy of our being that we were born with to bring to this world. But when we are called upon to go a little bit deeper, we discover what we have inside of us. So in a sense, it is a blessing, and it is okay. You don't need to stay there. You don't need to live with the pain or the difficulty or the challenge. I loved what Dr. Tom Costa used to say. He made this line famous. He said, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I don't have to build a house there." It's like you just keep going. You keep moving with the attitude of this is where I am, and you know what? It is getting me to where I'm going. It's getting me to bring the gift. It's getting me to bring the love that I came into this world with, and it is exciting. It is dynamic. It is real. It is spirit. It is divine, and it is God-given. And life is fluid. It's constantly taking shape. It's continuously releasing one and taking on the shape of a new one. Ernest Holmes says it in his book from this chapter that we're working on today, the final chapter of the introductory chapters. First one was the thing itself, that is God. And what it does is it shows up in our life, the level of our belief. The way it works is through a law that is definite. And today it's about an attitude, or it's how it works. It is, it's always there, always available, but it shows up in our life by the attitude that we have around it. And so from this chapter, Ernest Holmes, he writes that when we are dealing with real life, with thoughts, impulses, and emotions, we're dealing with causation, with the original cause. And what we should be most careful with is what we deal with is with these powers and with these forces. In dealing with this subtle power of mind, the spirit, we're dealing with a fluent force. It is forever taking form. It's forever deserting the previous form. Thus, a practitioner of the science should not be confused over any given form, but should know that any form which is not of the original harmony is subject to change. For the original spirit is harmony. It is beauty. It is truth. It is everything and goes with the ultimate reality. The universe is not divided against itself. So treatment is not willing things to happen. It is to provide within ourselves an avenue through which they may happen. Treatment opens up the avenues of thought. It expands the consciousness and lets reality through. We already live in the perfect universe, but it needs to be seen mentally before it can become part of our experience. Okay. Got that? It's fluid. It's constantly willing to take shape and unfold in ways that are right in our world. It releases the old form, but too often we're holding on to that form through our habits, through our previous beliefs, holding on to the way it had been. And those habits sometimes will show up in our life in areas of constraint or difficulty, or that which isn't flowing with the ease and the grace that we envision is a possibility, and it's an opportunity for us to take a look at that and say, hey, what's going on here? You need to take a hold of it and listen to it. Remember as a kid, I don't know if you did, but you take a seashell and you put it up to the ear and you can hear the ocean inside of that, and under the medical scrutiny, it says that it is the pulse that is moving through us that is being echoed back. It is the ocean, if you would, of our blood that is moving, that you're able to hear the flow going on. It is something greater that we're able to focus in on that moment. And what it says to me sometimes how important it is to hold on to something and to listen. Because so often I've got this habitual thought or this idea that just closes off listening. And what I recognize for myself is that when I hold or when I'm held and when I listen or I'm listened to, it's just a special moment. And that shell, it doesn't lose its mystery because I can define how it works. It is still magical. It's still mystical. And as we begin to recognize that there is more to this world, even if we can define how certain pieces work, there is still that infinite that is magical and mystical, and I need to drop some of my habitual thinking, my robotic thinking, my mechanical thinking, that which got set in motion by bringing into my awareness, holding, say, hey, this isn't really working. I need to listen now. What's going on here? When you listen with somebody, there's a healing that goes on. People feel touched and empowered. We've got to drop some. Anybody who's creating greater good in their life, successful individuals are people who are able to take charge of their thinking. They create new habits and new ways of being. Jack Canfield talks about successful individuals in his success principles, that those individuals take a look at their habits, they reevaluate them, and let go of the ones that are not serving them in getting to the new place. And then he lists some of the habits that people hold on to that are denying them. And that is, he listed like procrastination, like forgetting people's names seconds after you've been told them, delivering your deliverables not in a friendly, timely kind of manner, taking phone calls or texting or looking at your phone when you're with other people or with your partner or out to dinner or working too hard, or there's just all sorts of things. And what he says is you take a look at those things that are showing up in your world and you say, how can I change that habit, that way of thinking, that way of being in order to be more consciously approaching where it is I want to go? How am I going to get there? What is it that I am going to do in order to get myself there? And as I begin to align myself with that, ways begin to show. And if you can't get yourself out of the pain, it is the time to go to a spiritual practitioner. Today is Sacred Sunday. It's no announcement Sunday at the beginning of the service. We ask all of our practitioners to stand here, and we'll give you an opportunity to come up and ask for prayer. These are the individuals who have been trained in that art and science of prayer, of being in that resident field of that divine expression of spirit so they can speak the spiritual truth. They don't know the pain that you're in. They listen, they hear what you're going through, your human experience. But they're not like physically feeling that. And so they are able, in a sense, to know the truth a little bit easier. And when you have that faith that acquiesces its hold of mind on this is the story and this is the truth, to embodying that divine ideal that can come forth, healing can happen. It's like in our choir. Not that this is the truth of our choir, but let's say in the choir there are a lot of voices that were not on key. But if you got a couple ringers in there, who are on key and can sing and hold that note while and not fall prey to the other sounds that are going on, all of a sudden others come around and begin to match that note. It is a divine resonance, if you would. Hit the C chord on the piano and the drum skin vibrates. You hit a tuning fork and all the C's begin to go, the violins go. There is this resonance that takes place. That's why people go and listen to some of these guru guys that come sit here at Seaside. You sit down and what they say, that's definitely not as much as I can get in 20 minutes. But, and some of their stories you've heard, but there is a field around them. They have spent all these years and decades in prayer and consciousness and meditation. And just to sit in that auric field, that vibrational field, there is something that is going on. Have you felt that before? That's the attitude, the vibration I'm speaking about that goes beyond the how to pray. It is the attitude, is the symbols, as Ernest says, or the words behind the ideal. That is what makes up the power to your prayer. And so as you begin to do that, you've got to go forth with a commitment, with a knowing that this is where I'm going. This is it. And I'm not going to be knocked off because God and I are a majority. The Spirit and I, that's all it takes. Because it's only spirit. Because, you've got this faith, this conviction that is so strong. Ernest Holmes says, you don't want the faith in God? Really? No. What we want is the faith of God. Because what we are is spirit expressing. And so in is something outside of ourselves. Of is, this is what's coming through me. And as we begin to have a more conscious union, Ernest says, we want to have, for spiritual power, we want to have a conscious union with the whole, is what Ernest says. And, your life is reflecting back to you. You want to know where your thinking is? Look at your life. Well, it's not really my fault. Well, what would you be if you didn't blame and, you didn't complain? No blame, no complain. Where would you be? So, take a look at your life and recognize that the things going on in your world are really expressions of a consciousness. Healing or not healing is a secondary expression of the consciousness or the attitude. And if it's an attitude of prayer, a higher consciousness, healing happens. But you've got to have the faith and convictions to stay true to it. There's a story of a snail who was climbing a tree in wintry, cold, late spring, probably back in the East Coast because it was a cherry tree that, it could be Montana, I guess. But anyway, I don't know where the tree was, but it was a cherry tree, and he was climbing this bare tree at the end of spring, and like the sparrows were just kind of making fun of him. I mean, they were just making jokes at his expense. One finally flew over to him and said, knucklehead, don't you know that there are no cherries on this tree? He said, but when I get to the top, there will be. That's the kind of conviction. That's the kind of commitment. That's the kind of vision that we want to have. Local guy, just a beloved business guru, Ken Blanchard. He talked about the difference between interested and commitment. When you're interested, you will do something when it's convenient. If you're 100% commitment, you will do it no matter what. See, that's what we want. That snail was committed. It was going. Commitment is I am on board, I'm doing it, it doesn't matter, over and out. If you have 100% commitment to monogamy, You're not going to be thinking about other options. You're not going to be wondering, what if? You know that that door is closed, the die has been cast, the bridge has been burned. Your mind is free. It is not carrying different burdens, having daily conversations of other possibilities that exist because you are committed 100%. If you're committed to exercising a half hour, 5 days a week, you will do that. No matter what, whether you're traveling, whether it is raining out, whether you stayed out partying too late at night, you were still going to do that next day because that is your commitment. You make a commitment to brush your teeth every night, 100%. You are brushing your teeth. That is what 100% looks like, not 99.9. I read some statistics about what it's like to be 99.9% accurate. If you're looking at O'Hare Airport, in Chicago, that's 2 unsafe landings a day. You know, that unsafe drinking water, that would be 45 minutes a month of unsafe drinking water coming your way. That would be 50 babies dropped at delivery every day. You know, that is 500 mistaken procedures and operations a week. That is, 16,000 mismailed pieces of mail or delivered mail an hour. 22,000, it's 20,000 misprescriptions a year. And I just saw a bunch more, but I'm not, that's enough. Anyway, but you get the point here. And 99.9 doesn't cut it for us. We have got to have that total conviction. We've got to have that total belief. And if we have that conscious, as Ernest said, for our spirit, greater spiritual good, a conscious union with the wholeness is what we're looking at. It is a divine vibration. It is our oneness with spirit. And when you do that, things happen in your life. All of a sudden, you are living in heaven. You begin to see heaven. You begin to be the delivery point in which heaven shows up, whether it's in the hospital, whether it's in an airport, or whether it's within a family dynamic that is less than presence. You are seeing that dire situation as a blessing, and it becomes a blessing, not because you're trying to put it all together, but because you're beginning to see as Spirit sees. That's what prayer is about. It's what happens under the tongue, not the words that you're speaking, but it is the listening. Let your prayer be hearing Spirit, not speaking to something outside, hoping I got enough faith in that to make it happen, but I am that. In the beginning was the Word. It was true with God. It is true with you, because as above, so below. Macro, micro. It is the same way it works in your life, but you got to have that conviction. Even when others can't see it, you've got to know that cherries are growing on that tree. You know? So, big question of the ages. So why are some people's prayers answered and others aren't? It is the attitude that goes into the prayer. It is the belief, or Ernest was talking about, you're dealing with this fluent something, you know, but it's the emotions, it's the feeling, it's the embodiment, it is the embrace. The key is not in the prayer or the words, though we would teach you in class how to get them really well, but it is in the prayer. It is the consciousness behind it. And Ernest Holmes states that, you know, the world is suffering from one big fear. Just one. That's not bad. And that is the fear that God will not answer our prayers. You know, it is a misplaced faith, is what he talked about. It is a misuse of faith. You know, that misplaced faith is put in the opposite of what you're looking for. It's put in your fear. So rather than feeling abundance, you're putting your faith in the fear of scarcity, of lack, of limitation. Not enough there. You know, you got a health issue going on. Am I really going to get healed here? Am I really going to be healthy? You're misplacing your faith. Remember, it's the acquisition of that habitual, mechanical kind of thinking in your mind that got you in this place. What is coming up is just the secondary causes of a consciousness that is behind it. And what it's saying is, you know what? You've misplaced your faith that has created this dynamic in your world. It is time to take charge and put your faith in a higher power, back into wholeness, back into perfection, back into your body as the temple of God, and it knows how to heal. You know, if you got the fear of death, it's because you're believing that death is a possibility rather than the immortality and the continuity of the individual soul that is forever expanding. If you truly did not misplace your faith, you would be that all-powerful, you would be as powerful as a snail climbing a cherry tree in the springtime. So I know that we have got that in us. So my challenge to you this week is to place your faith in the right spot, to have that attitude of prayer, to create that heavenly kingdom here on earth that you're walking in. And this world would be magical. We will watch it transform to the glory of heaven for all to experience. God bless us as we do this together. Woo! Hey, let's keep it going for Barry and Darlene.
Woo! Oh, man.
I had never wanted to be a snail before, and now I do.
I like what you
I
were
love
saying.
that.
I like what you were saying about blame and complain. That was really good stuff. In fact, we saw years ago we went to a seminar and we saw some people unburden themselves of blame, and shame. It was quite a moving experience. So much so that I wrote a song about it, and had the good sense to have her sing it. And this is our from our CD. It's called "Song for Heroes."
Little Sunday morning jazz for you. He was a lonely boy, trapped inside his mind, searching for truth and joy. He took a look inside to find the memory of what happened when he was only 13. It ran his robotic life until he set it free. He walked away clean, gave up the shame, and took the burden off his back and threw it in the flames. He walked away clean from that machine and turned a brand new page at number 0. He was a hero. She was a happy girl, innocent and shy, life in a perfect world, until that man came by. For years she denied that it even mattered at all, but when she realized the cost, she answered the call. She gave up the blame, gave up the shame, and took the burden off her back and threw it in the flames. She walked away clean from that machine and turned a brand new page at number 0. She was a hero. Just enjoy the song, disengage from meanings that you made. hero. They were all heroes. Yeah. Here now are you and me, with all the wreckage from our past, but there's a clue, you see. It's really gone, you're free at last. The road we all travel is narrow, winding and long, with no absolutes, good or bad, right or wrong. I'll give no more blame, take no more shame. I'll take the burden off my back and throw it in the flames. I'll walk away clean from that machine and turn a brand new page at number 0 to be a hero. Yeah, we are all heroes. Yeah, they were my heroes. Yeah, we are all heroes. Thank you so much.
That is Kay Hill and Darlene. Woo! All right, well, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to unite together in the givingness and the sharing of our love and our financial support. As we give, it comes back. But it's not why we do it, but that is how it works. It is that law of circulation. When there aren't strings attached or fear, you put it out there and the bread upon the waters comes back into our life. It's an extension of your consciousness. It is that vibration. It is that frequency. You become the activity that God is having in your life. That's how this works. And so I invite you to listen to your heart and say yes to that desire to support Spirit's expression that's showing up in your life at this time at Seaside, and know that your gift makes a significant difference in our ability to continue creating this place and this community. But also it is valuable for you to know that as you support Spirit, you find Spirit supporting itself as your life. So with that, I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward as we take our gift from our heart and our soul. And I want to say thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you can't be here on a Sunday. It's greatly appreciated. Or those who practice the auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world into Seaside. It is greatly appreciated. And you at home, thank you for being there. We're feeling your love. We're feeling your financial support. And hey, we're doing a telethon too. Remember, mark the calendar on the 17th of February. But we know you're there, and thank you to those that are conducting the chat room. Who's doing the chat room today? David Lemasters. Thank you for keeping the conversation going. I trust it was deep. So anyway, I'm going to share a prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that this truly is a divine moment, a blessed moment, where the fullness of Spirit finds expression through each and every one of us, for we have become that wonderful vortex in which the abundance flows into form. We are bringing heaven to earth in a very real kind of way. And so with joy, we take that which has blessed our world, and we share that. And in our givingness, we find a richness and a greater expanding space, and knowing the good that we've shared goes out and touches and blesses individuals far beyond our grasp of knowledge. So grateful to be blessed by Spirit and to be able to share that. We say thank you, Father, Mother God, for this opportunity to remember through our expression the true source and the originator of all good in our life. And so it is. Amen. And together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. The guys from Seaside with Barry right there on the flute. Nice job. And so as I stand before this bounty, I can feel the outpouring, the love, and the caring, and the giving, and the compassion that has moved through each and every one of us for truly that beautiful expression activating every cell and that wonderful vibration within the body and the life of every giver I know right now is a rich expression of God that brings forth incredible blessings. For this gift that has been made in love, it's received in love. It is handled in good stewardship and is put forth back into the flow, bringing the joy and the love and the good and the compassion to all those it comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for allowing us to participate in this wonderful, abundant expression of ever-increasing good. And so it is. Amen. All right. Hey, this is Edwin Robinson. Well, hey, you are throwing your last meeting today, 1 o'clock, the annual meeting that is head by Chair and President Edwin Robinson. Just thank you for all your years, Edwin. It's been amazing. Barry and Darlene, thank you so much for your wonderful music, your originals, and sharing. It's just always a joy to have you. Rebecca, it's a blessing to have you back in the house with the solid legs, no longer sea legs. It's good. Catherine, what a joy to have you on this side of the stage here this morning. Beautiful reading for today. Thank you for the consciousness. Giving us sound today, Matthew. Giving us the visual is Marv. Great job, guys. And the camera crew, bless you for live casting this to the world. We're very excited about what you're doing. The home audience, and know that we're going to be doing this telethon in February, and then in March we're doing a virtual convention. Our movement is ending a 4-day convention here at Seaside and webcasting it to the world. Dr. Roger Teal, it's his last month in ministry after 42 years, going to be standing on this stage speaking. You know, one of our great elders, along with Nicole, who just started, so one of the new contemporaries to have those two. So March 7th, plan to be here. We're not even charging for that day. So, and Gary Lynn Floyd's going to fill in for our wandering artistic director. And so anyway, and classes are going on, like Monday night, conscious aging classes happening. And that's a good one with Robin. Then a week from Monday on the 4th, Deep's going to be doing a sound meditation. The following Monday, the Seaside Sisters have Tara from Lemongrass doing a whole sacred ritual experience and gifting a kit for that. I think it's actually at her place. Then we have on Fridays, if women want to dance, you got this spirit dance with Maggie from 10 to 11 right here. So we just have a lot going on. But sometimes so much is going on, we forget what has transpired. And at this time of the year, where we have our annual meeting, we sometimes catch up. And one of the things we do on this Sunday every year is acknowledge the volunteer of the year. And the thing with the volunteer of the year, it's not someone who for a year has done a lot of good. It's usually years and years of a lot. But this year it's kind of atypical because a lot was really a lot. It was an incredible lot. These two individuals that I want to acknowledge here today showed up at the end of last year, got involved with volunteering. Tracy worked in the office, and Dan took over the gardens and brought it his garden ministry. And then early in the year, unbeknownst to us, the company that hosts or take cares of the management system for Seaside and all the people that were part, it's called Logos, which truly has, most of us would never really care about, but it's all our management information about every member. It's 10,000 names and all that information from the last decade, all in there. And to transfer it from one company or program to another is a huge undertaking. And unbeknownst to us at the time, Dan, who became part of Seaside, does this on an international scale. Right now, he is working in Bethesda for government something under a year contract, and came back last night because Seaside wanted to acknowledge this huge gift he gave in terms of hundreds of hours, which would have cost us untold dollars, a knowledge that works for companies for like Toyota and others changing management systems. So Dan, along with his wife, this year have given us an enormous blessing, have been here around the clock, during the week, during the weekends, and we are healthy with a whole new management system. Everything is in place. It didn't cost us anything. The gift, the guidance, and the wisdom of these two will be lasting legacies that will serve us for the next decade. So would you two come up here so we could say thank you for this wonderful gift that you have given us, Seaside. Daniel, wonderful. Thank you. Tracy. Thank you.
Thank you. That was unexpected.
Bless you too. Thank you. So, hey, with that, let's pray. Yeah. And I want to invite all of my religious science practitioners to stand up here with me. So we can all feel this blessing, the joy. See what it takes to make this community move through time and space, blessing our lives. We've got spiritual practitioners. We've got people who volunteer their gifts and their blessings. There's just a lot of love. And sometimes the challenges are what stretch us to activate that love so Seaside is able to birth its gifts of love that it brought into this world, just like our individual lives. So I stand here in recognition of the love that is real, that is Seaside. It is the life, it is the power, the essence of being. It is that which caused all things to come into form. It was the first breath of our being. It was the intelligence that resides in every cell of our physical temple. It is a wisdom that guides the universe. It is a joy and a power that heals. Feel that divine touch bless you and grace you in ways that are more than just symbols or words can describe. Allow yourself to resonate with the divine essence of being. For it's within this resonant field healing happens, not because I am telling Spirit or God or life what to do, but because I have become receptive to the divine impress. And with that, I begin to hear, I feel being held in that divine embrace, and I'm listening and feeling and knowing that which is beyond the intellectual understanding. I'm residing in that initial harmony from which all the fluid expression of the force unfolds. Feel the love, the light, the life, the glory, the grace of God just touch you in ways that are relevant. If you're working on anything in particular here today, just lift it into this consciousness. Hold it up and listen and let it go. And allow that infinite intelligence to do with it what it needs to dissolve, to dissipate, to neutralize, eradicate, eliminate that which doesn't belong. For your body is the temple of God and it knows how to heal. Allow that healing vibration. Just cast off that which doesn't belong. Allow the body to return to its natural state of wholeness and balance and well-being, perfect weight, perfect circulation, perfect pulse. Move with the divine rhythm of life and thought and spirit and body and soul. For truly the blessings of spirit just becomes that attracting factor for greater good and grace to show up. The blessings of life begin to have its way as your very experience. The ideas begin to take form. The passions begin to find fulfillment. Creation begins to be courageous. There is a sense of love that is moving in this moment. Say yes to that and trust that without needing to control that. Surrender to that wonderful wave of that God life, and with it comes the abundance, the flow, the affluent expression of the infinite, the prosperity, the health, the wealth, the glory, the freedom, the joy. Better to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. And the relationships are magical. God made manifest, heaven on earth, a place to express the true self, trust. Relationships, a place of the integrity, the honesty, the revealing, the showing, the truth of being, which is spirit. And this I'm grateful to know and thankful for the words we've shared, that they're the truth, that they're manifesting here and now. Grateful for every prayer request that has been brought forth into our prayer request chest that is now being fulfilled in this very moment. Healing's going on. Love is expressing. Abundance is flowing. I stand with a sense of gratitude, not to anyone, but just a sense of appreciation for the God that is expressing as each and every one of us in this moment, in this ever-growing, expanding spiritual community, a Seaside that is made up with us all. A thriving spiritual community that is making a difference not only in the North County, but within our nation, because we are contributing to a consciousness of peace and harmony and love, and trusting that vision, even if it can't be seen yet. But grateful to know that we are participants in the emergence of greater good upon this planet. And so I let go with a faith, an unshakable faith, a deep conviction, acquiescing in the mind's control, and just embodying the divine ideal as I let this seed flourish into the fullness. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you have to say. Come on. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Seaside, sing it from your heart. Beautiful. Say no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
All right. And our affirmation is, Spirit loves expressing as me. Together, Spirit loves expressing as me. Touch your heart and say that again. Spirit loves expressing as me. One more time like it's your truth. Spirit loves expressing as me. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe. Through joys and through fears, in this world I walk. God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in
We want to invite you to come forward and receive a prayer. It feels good. It costs nothing. And we are available for you right now. Come on up and ask. And these spiritual practitioners will absolutely know the truth of whatever condition you are. And a big shout out and welcome to our youth program.